What's up, everybody? Saturday evenings, hopefully, guys, well, shout out to everybody that does have their notifications turned on, and you got this. So I want to talk about this trend line you guys see here. I think a lot of people are talking about it, and a lot of people are probably about to set themselves up to lose a bunch of money. This whole video, I'm going to talk about this trend line and why it's probably just not the best thing for you to play. While I like trends, I play trends, I think they're awesome. Imagine drawing, like, if it ever got that easy where you could just draw a line, call it a day, and then just hold account. You can draw these lines all over the place, but who's to say your line is right? What if we go to the weekly? Now that line's a little bit off, so do we move it down a little bit? Like, there's so many ways we can change this around and sell ourselves a position. And the person selling you this idea in the course, probably talking about this exact trend line, might tell you why their time frame's better than all the others. But that's just not the case. It's something I say in my streams a lot. You can draw a Picasso on your screen. You can do it. You can be a Van Gogh. I don't care who you are, what kind of artist you are. Nothing. It doesn't matter. You're going to sell yourself a position. What's important about these trend lines is the story behind it. What this blue line right here represents is lower highs. Okay, we're consistently making lower highs. As far as there's like the physical candle trend, like red. The physical candle trend is down. The overall ebbs and flows, that bigger trend, still down, right? So lower lows, lower highs. That's still a lower low. But imagine drawing a trend line down here in a megaphone pattern. That lower low should have been way down here, but it wasn't. If you loaded up short, you got surprised there too. I know a lot of people are loading up short right now. I think that's a lot of people. A lot of people are going to load up short. They have their stops just above here because it favors more risk. And there's more risk to the downside than the upside. And they really get to sleep at night telling themselves that. It's really cool. But this overall trend and how we got there kind of looks like we're going up even more. The bull's still in control. Look, we rallied up. The only thing we did was go sideways. I say this all the time in my streams. Stocks, when they push up, they pull over or they pull back. And that's all that did was pull over. That's it. And we're doing it again. Yet everyone's thinking, you know what? Like, yeah, more green candles than red. Let's just take a look at this. Oh, trend line. I assume institutions, money, market movers, all that, they're just going to move trillions of dollars around. They're just going to move billions. They're just going to load up short. Right there, because of that trend line. In fact, what they're going to do, and you don't have to, I wouldn't even need to pay for anyone's order flow to know there's a whole bunch of shorts just waiting to stop out right here. And that's it. So all you gotta do is just drive that thing a little bit higher. Now I am watching this level right here. But more importantly, I'm actually watching this level up here. So I was originally going to do this video on this. This is definitely a little bit noisier. And if you're not used to my channel, these just got on a different time frame. Well, trading futures, some of these zones could get pretty big, so that's why this one looks a little bit cluttered. But right here, this was on the weekly time frame. This blue one's on the daily time frame. It's just a bunch of noise. Let me just load a different one for you guys real quick. Intraday futures. I did switch over to this one. So YouTube members, I am going to post this in the community tab. If you're on my Patreon as well, I'm going to post that in there as well. If you are a Patreon member, that is, well, there is just a level 1 for just charts. Level 2 is mentorship. So the cheaper one, you'll see the chart link in here. So you can actually take this link, and then when you open it up, type in whatever ticker. If I have a zone on there, you'll see it. Where are we getting at? So just keep this one clear. Everything below this level right here is a lower high. Now your trend line tells you the lower high is right here, and that lines up, and that's going to get you so sold on that. You're going to buy puts. You might buy some out of the money puts. You might sell a bunch of calls. I wouldn't sell any at the money calls right now. This is a conversation I have with my mentorship group as well. Like, hey, I don't know if this is the time to be doing that. Or if you do, make it 2 standard deviations. It's definitely not time to be flirting with the at the money or maybe 1 standard deviation. You're cutting it too close. We're just not that efficient yet. And right now, this looks like a trap for the bears. I know everyone's calling that a bull trap. It looks like they're probably set up for the bears because sometimes that play's just a little too obvious. Okay, especially I'm talking to you. If you went short this last Friday, thinking, "Oh, this is going to happen," and then your stop is right there, you're who I'm talking to, because this trend line could keep all of this intact. We could keep this one going up all the way to here. We could just cut it right here, right below. And you know what's still happening? The trend down. Still another lower high, right? You just loaded up short and got ahead of yourself for no good reason other than you drew a line on there and thought billions were going to move because you took your little pin tool and clicked it a couple times. Okay? So don't get me wrong. I like them. I keep an eye out there. I know retail traders have their positions right there. Retail is low-hanging fruit. You know, institutions don't necessarily need to go after retail. You guys aren't that big. Like, you can get big when you pile into groups, but there's bigger fish to fry. So, you know, don't get a big head on that. But anytime they need to just pick that low-hanging fruit, it's easy. It's there. And retail loves to draw simple crap on charts like that and then just lose. And they wonder why. Like, it's because you never saw it from the other angle. So I actually am bullish next week for that reason alone, because it's going to take just nothing to pop that thing up, get everyone to stop out of their positions, rock that thing up into the next area of supply, and then go short. So I'm bullish next week. But when we talk about rate hikes, I'm not. Actually, I'm going to be short right before they announce a rate hike. I'm kind of leaning. I don't want to. It'd be kind of bold to say it's a 75% or 75-point rate hike. I know we're mostly pricing in 50 basis points with the small chance of 75. 75, where we're hopping and skipping on down. Would not be surprised to see that at all. For now, I'm thinking we're probably going to keep it with the 50. I do think we're going to sell off right around then. It's still a raising rate environment, still not good. I know a lot of people think the Feds are bullish now, but they still said we're raising rates and all that, and we got a couple other reports since then. So the only thing I'm calling this is a bear market rally, and I think the bears are getting in ahead of themselves. There's enough meat on the bones right now for you to wait for that trend to turn. You're going to jump on board and try to go short. Let's pretend you're right here. But because you were so cool, you drew that trend line because you're just you're a trend trader. I don't know why you would ever go to college, because that line took 3 seconds to explain and draw. I wouldn't even need a pamphlet to explain that to you. But anyway, let's say you loaded up short. And it panned out. Congratulations. You went short right here. You nailed it. Boom, down to here. Now let's say you waited. Let's say you waited for just the physical trend to break, which was one of these two candles, right? So you can see we kind of based out. Bigger candle down. Still arguments could be made where we're headed up. This one changes that. And then we bounce right here and then change that. How much did you not make by going short on this red candle or this red candle after a break? Like, you physically waited for the trend to change and then went short. You missed from here to here, but you didn't front run that risk as much. You could have gone short right here and a pretty decent stop right below, because you know, all right, we're gonna trend this thing up if it does turn. Like, I know where to put my stops. I just waited a little bit. By waiting just that extra little bit, let the curve start. You'll be ahead of the game probably 1,000,000 times over. If you're going to take this trade the next 100 times, the next 1,000 times, I don't care if next week we sell off. I'm sitting here to tell you I think we're bullish, and next week we turn on a dime and head south. That's sweet. I'm talking about the next 1,000 trades, not the one you hope to get lucky on and post on Instagram. So be careful selling yourself positions out there. And just consider, like, what if I waited for just anything other than bullish crap? To go short right now, honestly, right now, I get the macro. I know everything we're in. I'm in the same environment you are. We're on the same Earth. Okay, most likely we're in the same continent. I'm looking at everything. But right now, the only thing you're doing is shorting some crap that's running just fine. Up, sideways, like, we're not giving up anything. If this was overbought, if the bulls were scared, there would be profit taking. Bears would be jumping in to go short. The only thing they're jumping on is train tracks to get run over. That's probably half the reason we got such a green candle here, because shorts were getting out. So I can only imagine, like, how many institutions were short that heard that news and just got out. They let this get up. They're going to pile in later. You guys might think they're getting out of all their long positions. Oh, they're getting out of the market. I know people love talking about how when institutions pull money out of the market. Oh, they're getting out now. Getting out of what? Their short positions? And what are they getting out of? What report did you read? It's not something I read. I just hear people say that stuff. I'm like, that's adorable. Did you text Mr. Goldman? Did you ask him? Shoot Powell a text. See what he says next, right? Let me know what kind of inside information you got. Anyway, I don't mean to say that to be all condescending or anything. I don't like when people lose. And I see people sell themselves a lot when they start working these drawings. And another dangerous thing, or I guess what makes it dangerous to begin with, and I've already touched on it, you can move this thing around, right? So you can think, okay, here's the trend, and then you'll just cut off some random crap, and then you'll justify it. But then it'll break that. You'll be on an uptrend. You'll be following this. You're thinking, okay, grain of salt, boom. Obviously, this trend line's, but obviously. So you go long on this blue line, and then it breaks. You're like, oh, crap, hang on. Oh, so that's where I go long. You completely ignore the fact that it's selling off. You're like, okay, down. Oh, shoot, 1 second. Oh, got those wicks. That's line. You just start selling yourself positions. They don't make sense. These are not buy and sell lines. They are keep an eye. Watch out. Is a setup coming? Not is the setup there. A huge difference. And if you're red in your account and I'm listing off everything you're doing, is that just a coincidence? I just happened to nail that, or maybe maybe you could take a page out of my book. I've been doing this for a little bit longer. I didn't start trading in 2021 or 2020 like most YouTubers, most other traders, to be honest. I still think you're brand new if you haven't been trading for 5 years. So, a lot of curveballs Mark can throw at you, but this is an easy one. This is a layup. So be careful going short. It would probably pay you in the long run so much if you drew that trend line, set an alert at that trend line, didn't go short, but that's where you started babysitting. Draw those trend lines, put your phone in your pocket, and hang out. When you get that notifications, it's time to watch it. Okay, now I got a reason to watch it. Are we selling? Is it starting to turn? What kind of signs are we looking for? Momentum to slow down. How about a single I was gonna say, how about a single red candle bigger than a green one? You know, just anything. Wait for it to reverse. Then just hammer that thing as hard as your little heart can. Just go to your little heart's content. You know, what's risk management at that point? You know, like throw it out the window. I can't even finish that sentence. You know, don't do that. But just imagine where you'd be in the long run if you just didn't throw those darts with a blindfold on and just traded with a little bit more sense in mind. So if you do want to know my thoughts on everything, you want to tag me all day, every day to talk to me, you can check out the mentorship. One of two ways. You can buy the trading suite, which is every course I'll ever make. That's a teachable link down below. That does come with a lifetime access of the mentorship Discord. So that is the daily streams in the chat with me. If you do buy the trading suite, I will email you. I will reach out. And that's how you will get into there. So look out for that email. If you were more just like to do the monthly thing, that's the Patreon link. So check all this out, but subscribing's free. Hit that notification bell when these videos come out. That's also free. It costs you your time, which might save you a lot of money in the end. I'm a little bit biased myself, but I know I'm profitable, and if you're searching videos on how to trade on YouTube, you're likely not. So maybe we come at this with a little open mind. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, 1 hour after futures open. We'll talk about this next week going forward. Have a good one.